This is False Start, a college football podcast for everyone and everyone else. I'm John Buhler, lead writer for Fansided. I'm joined today by a man. Hold on, did you freeze?
No, I'm still here. I'm just looking
Oh
at you.
shit! Oh my god!
But I'm
Can't
I'm
tell.
a little confused, man. You're not John Bueller. You look like you have a big family. Perhaps the Tenenbaum family, Richie.
Yeah, I'm the Bjorn Bjorg of my own prison, and you're not Cody Williams. You travel, you go places, you roam if you want to. You are in home.
Yes, sir. That's how we roll today, man. Happy to be here. Little less than happy to be wearing this beard. It is not as comfortable as you might think, but that's okay. We're here.
It's okay. It's okay. Roman gnome. I can't see very well. I've got sunglasses on.
I went
It's
through that last year on the Halloween pod when I was Dr. Alan Grant and I had the aviators on and I was like trying to read the rundown and I could not do it at all.
I've done this 2 years in a row as Kurt Cobain, so like maybe next year I won't have this. I don't know, I have to figure out what the hell I'm gonna be. Probably I'll have like white face paint, start licking my lips like I'm Heath Ledger.
There we go.
Obviously, this is our Halloween episode. It's extra spooky pooky. We do this every year. We'll probably dress up dumb for Christmas or any other holiday because this is a visual medium, and why the hell not?
That's right. And we don't take ourselves very seriously at all. So here we are.
No, but please hit that like button, like Richie Tenenbaum hitting a tennis ball, and hit that subscribe button like you're going to go somewhere with the Roman gnome for Expedia, apparently.
That's right. Just take me wherever.
Just take me wherever and just take me home. Let's move on to, we've obviously false started our first and 15 for the day is the slot. We're going to put a Lane Kiffin in the slot on Halloween because this is what we're about.
100%. I mean, he deserves it. I mean, is he the most powerful man in America right now? People are saying.
Potentially, he's like what Frank Reynolds pitting two pig dealers against each other.
Yeah.
So you've got the Florida vacancy open. You've got the LSU job, which apparently has devolved into just this Louisiana nightmare. Matt Rule is gonna looks like Matt Rule is gonna stay at Nebraska, so Lane may not entertain coming home to where he was born, I
Mhm.
guess.
Yeah.
I guess Papa Monty was on the Husker staff back in the day, but that's neither here nor there. But Lane Kiffin's in the slot right now. He bounced back with a big win over Oklahoma. As long as Ole Miss wins out, they're going to be a top seven seed in the playoff, make it for the first time, maybe win a game or two. We'll see what happens. I don't know if they'll win it all.
No, I don't know if they will either, but they're a damn good football team. And the fact that the fact that Lane is succeeding at the level he is, but also just genuinely seems happy in Oxford, complicates this a ton because, like, ostensibly and historically, Florida and LSU are better jobs than Ole Miss.
Yes.
LSU is probably still a better job than Ole Miss, but you look at everything that's going on right now at LSU, and is that really something Lane wants to sacrifice a place where he
No.
hasn't made for the rest of his life to go? And
Like
like, I
at
don't know
the
if that's the
yeah,
case.
that's a good point. It's historically, yes, LSU and Florida have been better jobs, but they're chaotic right now,
Hmm.
as is Auburn.
Oh God, Auburn's stuck in chaos.
Yeah, I mean that's how you spell Auburn. Chaus. K.
You can't spell Auburn without
Oh, oh. It sounds like you're wincing in pain. No, I'm just saying it in my school, brother. But like outside of Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, I don't even know if Texas is in that realm. I don't even know if there's really any other school where it's like it's definitively better than what Lane Kiffin has Ole Miss at right now.
No, 100%. And I also look at it to a similar degree. Like I mentioned it, I believe it was either on Monday's show or the Saturday night recap show, but talking about Dan Lanning and like the idea that like I don't think Dan Lanning is going to leave Oregon because he has it so made at Oregon. Like, yes, I we still haven't seen Oregon necessarily win a national championship, but if you're like taking winning and like your overall football goals out of the equation, there are a few better jobs than Oregon because you're going to have all the resources that you need. If you win games, you're going to be beloved there. Like because they've never won a national championship, there's not necessarily national championship expectations, even though that's what they dream about. But at the same, like, and Ole Miss is like a diet version of that. Yeah, they don't have Phil Knight money, but they have enough money, and they have something that works for Lane Kiffin, and also like Lane Kiffin works for them. because when you think about Florida and LSU, when those programs are running hot, they're recruiting at the high school level. Lane really hasn't had to do that at the highest level when it comes to Ole Miss, and like I think that's his happy place is when he's not having to deal with high school kids, when he can bring in transfer portals and the high school kids that he knows are going to work for him, and not the ones that the people in the state of Florida think he needs to get.
Yeah, like I was thinking about this comparing Ole Miss to Oregon. Like they've been elevated essentially to about as good as it conceivably be. There may be a little extra gear you may be able to get to that one time, so to
Hmm.
speak. The biggest thing that hurts Oregon is just the lack of people in state. So
Yeah,
you have to recruit Northern California and nationally. Ole Miss, well, Mississippi is not a talent dearth state. Like there's a lot of high school things, but the problem is like you got to split with Mississippi State, which always recruits well out of high school, and then within the region, you have I don't know if you have a better football history, but you have won national titles before. Granted, what Johnny Vaught was like 60 and 70 years ago. So
yeah. I mean,
like,
it's been a minute, but
yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of more of the belief he's going to stay. I don't think. Let me to try to tell somebody what to do. Like I told Ben Johnson to stay, and he didn't listen to me though.
right. I mean, so. I am leaning more towards him staying for all the reasons I mentioned. Like, I think he is super content in Ole Miss, and like, Ole Miss will pay him. Like, whatever, if like Jimmy Sexton comes to, the Ole Miss administration after talking to Florida and LSU and says, hey, we need this X amount of money for Lane to stay. Ole Miss is probably going to pay that. Like they're not a like resource like drought. They're not in a
Starved,
resource.
yeah.
Yeah, they're not in a resource drought by any stretch of the imagination. And so like I do think that he'll end up staying and that this ultimately ends up being a leverage play. Having said that, we can talk about like what it means for Lane, whether it be the right choice for Lane. Florida or LSU would be like there's not much better you can do than Lane Kiffin in this coaching cycle. So like if he were to go to one of those jobs, it would be a home run hire for either of them.
The idea of James Franklin could work there too. I've also seen he might be potentially interested in Virginia Tech, which I think he'd actually be he'd slay there.
Oh, he'd absolutely crush there. If they don't go Beamer, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, because he has the ties to the Tidewater region from being, at Maryland forever, so
Hmm.
in and around there. So he probably would know that. I think like I also saw this thing too. The candidate who's going to leave, and we'll talk about his program here in a little bit, Alex Galesh.
Hmm.
I know we've talked about Florida as a potential place. His wife's from Arkansas, so
Hmm.
that might be in play there too. I don't know what direction anybody in the ICC goes. I do think Drink leaves. I do think that
Yeah.
Drink basically has priced his way out in Columbia. The question is, what job does he take?
Yeah, do you think he'd go Florida or like I think he's probably more likely a Florida candidate than an LSU candidate, even though I think that's a misstep by LSU.
LSU seems hella chaotic right now.
Yeah.
Like what Governor Landry or Landy or whatever the hell his name is like it's a bunch of jargonese going on in the NCAA division chat on Slack. I'm like, I don't really know what the hell is going on. The point is they don't want Scott Woodward to make another decision because that man just wastes more money than our government.
I mean, yeah, like people are calling it chaos. I call it have you looked at Scott Woodward's track record? Like I think that's pretty reasonable why they don't want this man to make another hire, quite frankly.
What would be the most Scott Woodward hire? It'd be James Franklin, right?
No, Urban Meyer.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You got this is a man that brought Jimbo Fisher to Texas A&M. This is a man that got Brian Kelly to leave Notre Dame to come to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. This man can do all things and it's never the right thing.
You and I both know if Urban were to take that job, he'd be done in 4 years. He'd probably have like
Yeah.
one really great season, and he'd probably have some sort of voodoo magic put on him or put on somebody else.
Oh,
Like
100%. He's got a state employed witch doctor on the Tigers team.
he gets fired because he's walking around with like a bunch of people he shouldn't be seen with carrying a bunch of yards up and down Bourbon Street.
Yeah, I mean, like I will say that's entirely too close proximity wise for Urban to Mardi Gras. Like that's not going to end well at all.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Bubba.
But yeah, Lane Kiffin belongs in the slot right now. He's absolutely thriving. He's living there. I venture to guess he's going to make Kurt Signetti money.
Oh yeah, 100%. He's going to get a bag, and I mean, he's earned it. Like he has Ole Miss about to go to the college football playoff, which in the 12 team era was a possibility, but the fact that they've been in the mix for 2 straight years, I don't think anyone saw that kind of consistency coming.
No, we'll touch on that here in a second. They're well over 50% to make it at this stage, which is fantastic.
Yes, sir.
But speaking about getting the bag, I gotta ask you a question. Let's do some two Haas or two Haas here for the second topic on the show today.
Hell yes.
Grace Rayner of The Athletic did a fantastic deep dive into what is turning around. The team you hate in the Virginia Cavaliers, they are 7-1. Apparently, they've done a really good job of having Tony Elliott and athletic director Carla Williams basically asking a very cautious booster group to kind of be all in. And they went out, they've got Chandler Morris, but they also got a bunch of other people in the transfer portal, namely 7 offensive linemen. And the Who's are thriving. Oh my God, you have suspenders on.
Oh yeah, yeah. You gotta complete the costume.
I was supposed to wear a scarf at some point. I don't know if I am, but I don't care. I'm supposed to be wearing a khaki pants too. No, it's too early for that. I'm wearing
Oh
pants
yeah.
though.
I don't have the khaki pants are not on currently. I do have
No,
pants on. Like to be clear, it's not a pantsless podcast,
this
but
is this is this is the Joey Galloway podcast.
that's right.
Um, every so often I'll get a hit on that article from him calling a game in South Florida.
I mean, what a legend. Like when you have to do it like every day, like Joey Galloway does, some days you gotta just not wear the pants.
The AC kicks on, it's hot as ass up there in the booth, and Raymond James, you're like, I'm done tucking my shirt.
I'm in Tampa, brother. Let me live.
But anyway, back to this. The revenge the rebuilding Virginia model seems to be working out for the Who's. Duhas, is this sustainable for other bad college football teams, namely Kentucky, Wisconsin, Auburn, if you want to throw anybody else in that equation?
On the whole, I'm gonna go Duhas 1S. But I will say, like, I don't think it's a catch-all because specifically when I'm thinking about Wisconsin, I think you give Wisconsin all the money in the world right now, and it might not matter
No.
because I think directionally they're completely lost. At a place like Kentucky, we know what it looks like when it's going right under Mark Stoops at Kentucky. We don't know. We've never seen it go right for Luke Fickell at Wisconsin. We don't necessarily know what could go right for Hugh Freeze at Auburn necessarily based on what we've seen so far. But I also think it could work there just because we know what Auburn looks like when it's rolling with all of its resources. And so if you invest more, yeah, you're probably gonna like look pretty good in terms of the talent you're going to be able to have. So I think it's definitely situational dependent in which coach is getting this money. Like with everything that went on at Virginia, like I don't think that there was ever a point where we thought Tony Elliott is a bad football coach. Like that
No.
was never something that we were saying. We lauded him for how he praised the or for how he handled the tragedy in Charlottesville and like how he helped his team recover from that. Like I think he's a great leader. I think he was obviously a good offensive mind when he was at Clemson. And we just thought it was a resource problem. And turns out it might have just been a resource problem. And like, I think when you're looking at Mark Stoops in Kentucky specifically, because I think that's probably the easiest example to point to that where this could work. They have so much investment in the basketball program that it kind of did like unevenly divvies up the resources, especially in relation to the SEC. But Kentucky's not like Kentucky itself is not a hugely talent rich area, but you're in a talent rich area of the country. And so you start pouring resources in there, whether that's for the transfer portal, whether that's to, go out and get a couple recruits from outside of the state of Kentucky. I think you can definitely do it there in Lexington.
I echo your sentiment too of it being due Host 1S with the caveat you need to have the right head coach or the right culture. This is not the perfect way you said it, this is not a catch-all.
Yeah.
This could work at Kentucky because of the equity that Mark Stoops has built up. The fan base always packs that place up at Kroger Field, win or lose.
Hmm.
You're not in a talent-rich state, but you're in a talent-rich region. You can get people to come there pretty easily. I don't know how much boosters you have, but you're not a pauper in this.
No.
It could work at a place like Auburn, given the history, regardless of Hugh Freeze. Hugh Freeze has won. Maybe he's not the best guy, but like it could work there for him. I don't think it can work at Wisconsin with Luke Fickell in charge because he's lost the plot so much. If you have quite literally anybody else as a head coach, I think it could work.
No, 100%. And like you bring up a good point about Auburn. Like Hugh Freeze is getting a bad rap because of what's happening at Auburn. When you really boil it down to what's happened, he's missed on two quarterbacks. He missed on Peyton Thorne and he missed on Jackson Arnold, which was that predictable? Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
But like you still took a swing and you missed. And like when you look at the rest of that roster, like I think that's why Auburn fans are so pissed at Hugh Freeze is because The rest of that roster's in a really good spot. That defense is pretty damn good. The offensive talent, you watch Cam Coleman and like I feel like he's about to turn into AJ Brown here shortly and just start like dragging Jackson Arnold and Hugh Freeze in the media because he's so much better than like the offense that is around him right now in terms of the quarterback play. But like the infrastructure's there. He's just missed on quarterback. And like that's what's really holding Auburn back from being in this conversation with a Vanderbilt, being in this conversation with a Tennessee or something like that. And like it's holding them back to that level. But if you give more investment and you're able to go and poach whatever quarterback you want, like imagine if Auburn had Carson Beck this offseason.
Yeah.
Like they would be in a tremendously different spot than they are right now.
Yeah, Auburn always has the money. Auburn's a top 15 program historically. They continue to recruit at a top 15 level, even under Freeze, where I think it's maybe pulled back a little bit. You've always been able to hit in the portal because character doesn't matter there. And but also the fact that you have what Tim Cook of Apple, Yellowwood money, you've got people there from NASA with
Mhm.
Huntsville ties. Like you're, I mean, also I'm sure Charles Barkley and
Yeah.
Cam Newton. Cam Newton doesn't have a lot of money, but like they've got some pull, I guess, there as well. Josh Donaldson, if he wants to throw money in there, I'm sure he made a bunch too.
Oh yeah, I would venture to guess that's probably going to the baseball program. But yeah.
Frank Thomas might throw a few bones there towards the football program too, but that's neither here nor there. There's other programs I kind of want to throw by you that I think like could it work? Like, and I'm thinking like ones that are really bad right now. We're talking like bottom of the Power Four. I'm thinking Boston College, Purdue, and Oklahoma State.
I think all three of those it definitely could. And I think Bill O'Brien's biggest problem at Boston College is not Bill O'Brien. I think it's the fact that Boston College doesn't really care about football. Doesn't really care about athletics, to be honest, at the highest level. And so
Yeah,
like that's a tough place to be. But if they were to throw money, who wouldn't want to go like if you're a kid like I think that one of the advantages that Boston College has that they've never had the resources to necessarily take advantage of is living in Boston, living in the shadow of the Patriots, like that's an attractive thing, even if you're not from the region. And like, I understand the Northeast is very hit or miss in terms of being a hotbed recruiting region, and most of the time it is the New York, New Jersey area rather than the Boston area and further up in New England. But I think that Boston College could be an attractive destination. Purdue, we've seen Purdue run well. So like we know that if they have like I think the interesting thing is I don't even think Purdue needs the resources that like it seems like Virginia's getting.
no,
I think if you gave them three-quarters of that, Purdue could get running, especially with Barry Odom in there, a guy who knows how to run a high-level college football program. And then Oklahoma State, I think you need money to compete with the like I think you're just like getting beat in every recruiting realm right now. And like I don't think it's surprising that Mike Gundy didn't adapt to this new
right.
era of college football because that's not really how Mike Gundy ran his program previously, and it's kind of how you have to at these days.
And in the new Big 12, Texas Tech has they just have has oil money. Houston's come in. We always knew Houston was capable of
Mhm.
this. And then obviously Arizona State's added a whole other new interesting factor to this. Also the fact that Baylor and TCU have pull in the state too, that doesn't help.
Mhm.
I would say of those three, you're right. Purdue's probably the easiest. Like you just need more time. You don't even
Yeah.
need that much resources. You have a good athletic department. Mike Babinski knows what he's doing up there. It's just like you got to have the right head coach. I think you do. You got to flush out the remaining mucus in the back of your nose that is
Yeah.
Ryan Walters. Boston College, a little apprehensive there, but like maybe if you pay Ryan Puglisi 3 million, maybe he'd make it better. He is
Yeah.
from the region. Oklahoma State, I'm kind of like do you really want to give Zach Robinson the keys to the car? I don't.
Yeah, I mean that could be a head coaching thing. And like I was also thinking like I think that this process could work at North Carolina. I don't think it's going to work at North Carolina with Bill Belichick. Like you can give
Yeah.
him all the money in the world, I don't think it's going to matter at this point.
If you gave Arthur Smith all that money, would it work?
I think so. I
Yeah.
absolutely think so.
Yeah. I mean, he's got options, man. He could be the Titans head coach. He could co-coach at North Carolina. He can keep doing the Steelers thing. And the best part is he's not getting the blame.
100%. Yeah. Mike Tomlin's getting thrown under the bus here a lot more
So-
than Arthur Smith.
But yeah, congratulations to Virginia to figure it out. I don't know. It's always like they have like a good football like vibe there with Scott Field when it's going okay.
Yeah, I mean I hate it, but yeah, they do.
Yeah, I know. I know. I know. You know, Auburn's a special place, and anytime Auburn's good, it's pretty clear that one thing's happening. We are living in a simulation, clearly by what we're doing, but also we are doing a simulation. Down to the final th two-thirds of the show. You know the drill here. If you follow us along on Thursdays, here's what's up. We're gonna take the playoff teams based solely on FPI percentage, put them in there, and figure out a bracket. These updated just this morning or last night. Sometimes these are down, and it's always frustrating when that happens because you're just like, I just go down incomplete data.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. So here's the 12 team playoff field based on FPI percentage. Indiana is one. They're your projected Big Ten champion at 96.7. Texas A&M is at two. They're the projected SEC champion at 96.4. Ohio State is three, projected Big Ten runner-up at 96.1. All very tightly packed up there.
Mhm.
Alabama is your projected SEC runner-up at 93.6. Those would be your four teams getting a bye. Georgia is five as an SEC at large at 81.8. Oregon six, Big Ten at large, 74.8. BYU comes in at seven, your projected Big 12 champion at 69.5. Not far off their tail is the Ole Miss Rebels, projected SEC at large at 68.3. Like I said, well above 50.
Yeah.
At nine, your projected ACC champion is the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets at 50.4. Number 10, Miami, not far off their tail, as the ACC runner-up at 46.5. Vanderbilt's your last team in at 11. SEC at large at 44.5. South Florida is projected to win the American in Group of Five at 25.8. Your first four out are Texas at 40.3, Texas Tech, your Big 12 runner-up at 39.7, Notre Dame as national independent at 29%, Tennessee out of the ICC at 23.2, and the team that's chasing South Florida for the Group of Five spot is Memphis at 18.3.
Mm. South
Uh,
Florida's, excuse me.
and I'm the one who's talking.
I
It's
think
all
I'm
right.
swallowing beard hair is what
That's
is what's really
that's
happening here.
good old delicious asbestos. Love it.
100%. Yeah, we're gonna be healthy and thriving. Surprising to see South Florida still as the projected Group of Five champion. Did not expect to see that after Memphis obviously beat them this past weekend.
Yeah, South Florida, Memphis, North Texas are all pretty good. Like North Texas is like a little bit off of Memphis, but not considerably.
Yeah.
I do find it interesting that Indiana's one and Ohio State's three, but I think
Mhm.
you actually forecasted that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just Indiana doesn't have to play Michigan. And like Michigan, like obviously, like Ohio State still has a 96% chance. Like, even if they lose to Michigan, they're probably still going to the college football playoff. Like, I don't think that's in danger. But like, if like when you're looking at the percentage chances, it has to factor in like what's the path like what's the path, like the path of least resistance, I guess is what I would say. And Indiana for sure has that with their remaining schedule.
The one thing I'll say before we kind of get into the whole simulation of itself is Oregon's not quite at 75%, almost there, but like BYU is like almost 70, but I feel Oregon's almost a lock, whereas BYU, it's not quite there, but there's only like what, 5 percentage points, a difference between them. Is that kind of because like BYU and Ole Miss and Georgia Tech, who are all above 50, are still like, we need to wait and see. Although I do feel Ole Miss is really close to a lock at this point.
Yeah, we're getting close there. And I think with BYU, there are enough scenarios where BYU still gets in. Whether or not they go to the Big 12 championship or they're the Big 12 champion, it doesn't matter. And like that'll make things a little bit hairier. But like, say Texas Tech beats them next week, and like that puts Texas Tech in the driver's seat to go to the Big 12 championship game over BYU and potentially against Cincinnati, who's still in the driver's seat with their own destiny. But if BYU ends up going 11-1, doesn't go to the Big 12 championship game, they're still okay. Like they're still
Yeah,
probably going to the college football playoff. So like I understand where they're coming from. What I don't think it bakes in is the fact that I think BYU could probably slip. Like there's probably a bigger you and I probably see a bigger chance for BYU to slip up in another game beyond the Texas Tech game.
I kind of feel like Georgia Tech's the big wrinkle in all this, maybe in the ACC, but like if you go 11-1 in the SEC, Big Ten, or honestly Big 12 this year, the chances of you making it are the Big 12 almost feels like you're almost in there too.
Yeah, 100%. And then like it's the conference of chaos and like I think we're still trending very heavily towards that.
All right, let's do some simulations, brother. Okay, we got Indiana, A&M, Ohio State, and Alabama are your four buys. Number
Hmm.
five, Georgia is hosting the North Texas, not North Texas. That's the wrong name there. That's the South Florida Bulls. That thing's changed constantly,
We
so
love that. We love that.
it doesn't matter. Yeah, we got Georgia moving on.
Yeah, we got Georgia advancing. That's not a difficult one.
That's not difficult at all. 6-11, Oregon hosting Vanderbilt. I could be swayed either way. For whatever reason, I think the live dog doesn't go down. I think that he might like Vanderbilt's just a little bit. I'm not ruling Vanderbilt out here, but if you want to pick Oregon, that's totally fine.
No, I was struggling with this one. I My lean was probably Oregon, but I let's go Vandy. I'm totally like I it would be like if I was putting percentage chance on my lean, it would be like 53-47. So like I'm it's very much a toss up for me. So if you have strong inclinations to Vanderbilt, let's go Vanderbilt.
All right. 7-10, convicts versus Mormons. BYU is really good. I'd take Miami.
Yeah, I think Miami can just like physically overwhelm them, quite frankly.
And then number eight versus number nine. Again, it's got a very 1950s, 60s feel to it. Ole Miss versus Georgia Tech in Oxford. I would the Jackets could get them. I still think Ole Miss at home is going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, I think that especially with some of the stuff we've seen recently from Ole Miss's defense, and I mean, you know, we have immense trust in both staffs, and so like I do think it would be a battle of the minds. But I think with the way Ole Miss's defense is capable of playing, I think Ole Miss can reach a number Georgia Tech can't.
I think that's fair. And also, Haynes King's a really good peer, apparently.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I'm sorry, brother. That sucks. But like it's tough as hell, man. That guy's gonna die in the field like Carson Wentz.
Hey, you know what? Him and Pavia, like both of them, they're not leaving the turf.
The King Pavia Award, maybe that's what we give him
That's
something like
right.
that.
Who's gonna die on this football field?
We give them like what Beowulf's arm or some stuff.
A coffin.
I don't even. All right, so the Rose Bowl, Indiana is going to take the Rose Bowl as the one seed, and they're going to be hosting Ole Miss, or they'll
Hmm.
be playing Ole Miss in Pasadena. I would probably say well, that's a fantastic game.
Hmm.
Where are you leaning for this?
I would lean Indiana because I think Kurt Signetti, I have enough faith in him and his staff to think that he can get Lane to succumb to his worst tendencies, which if you show Lane a shootout, Lane's like, "Oh hell yeah, let's get into a shootout." And I don't think you want to get in a shootout with Indiana.
No, not with Fern, man. Don't want to
No.
do that. All right, you're. I guess Texas A&M is the two seed.
Hmm.
They may be assigned the Sugar Bowl, but they may prefer the Cotton Bowl. I'm going to give them the Cotton Bowl because I think they'd rather
Yeah.
play there.
And a little bit further away from Miami too.
So I would probably go with the Aggies here.
Yeah, I think I would too. It'd be a hell of a good game. Would be excited to see it, but I think that Miami's defense is much improved from where it was a year ago, but I think Texas A&M might show some warts that you don't really see in ACC play.
I think that that's totally fair. I think that A&M just has. I feel like A&M is just a little bit better capable of overcoming like a self-inflicted play, whereas I feel with
Yes,
Miami it might snowball for the Mario Cristobal and Carson Beck of it all.
100%.
All right, your Orange Bowl, Ohio State versus Vanderbilt. I don't know if they've ever played before, but they're playing in this game.
Hell yeah, they are. I'm gonna take the Buckeyes.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, I think this might be
yeah.
where it ends. Not sure if Vandy has the guys to match up with this one.
And I mean, you're dressed up as Noam Saying. I mean, that's no man.
No, not mean.
And then my personal hell, it's gonna be what Alabama versus Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. As much as I want to pick Georgia, it's gonna be Bama, dude.
Okay. I this would be a 50-50 for me because it's not in the Peach Bowl. So,
It,
you
it-
know,
it's it's below the Mason-Dixon line, and
it's
that's all
fair.
that's all that
It's fair.
matters.
Yeah,
I would.
we can go Bama.
All right. So your Peach Bowl is going to be Indiana at number one versus number four Alabama. We've got basically chalk up to this point, and then your Fiesta Bowl is number two Texas A&M versus number three Ohio State. Um, Honestly, I think Indiana is going to be in for a really rude awakening, and Alabama's second home, their vacation home. I think that that could get that Indiana could lose by 17 in that game.
Yeah, the kind of the flip side of what I said about Indiana kind of getting Lane into his worst tendencies, I think Alabama can put Kurt Signetti in a blender. Like I think just the physicality and the talent that the Crimson Tide have, like I think could get Kurt Signetti in Indiana kind of snowballing a little bit.
I think that's fair. I can't see right now. I almost threw a bunch of coffee in my blazer, my Goodwill blazer that I bought.
Hey, from where I'm sitting, it still looks clean. So
That's fine. I'm sure I'll get yelled at if it's fine. But either ways, I'm making gumbo tonight. I'm living my best life, dressing up
hell
as Richie
yeah,
Tenenbaum, making gumbo. Life, this is my off day, whatever. And then
100%.
100%. And then Fiesta Bowl. You got Texas A&M versus Ohio State. I'm leaning Ohio State. I think that like the fact that they've been there before, I think that's the big thing with A&M that scares me is like this is untrodden territory for
Yeah.
them. And I think that like I don't know, Ohio State hasn't been punched in the mouth yet. Maybe they will be at some point. Clearly they are because they projected to lose the Big Ten championship to Indiana. So yeah,
So I'm gonna lean Ohio State as well because of the experience factor. That's actually exactly what I was gonna bring up. I will say though, like in terms of getting punched in the mouth, barring the Big Ten championship game against Indiana, this will be the best offense that they will have seen this
yeah,
year. And this defense has gotten a lot of praise, and I think this defense is extremely talented because against lesser competition, they've looked as dominant as you would want this team to look. Having said that, it's a different beast when you're trying to defend Mario Craver, Le'Veon Moss, Ruben Owens,
yeah.
Marcel Reed in the run game, Casey Concepcion. Like that's a different animal than anything you've seen in the Big Ten.
Craver, Reed, and Concepcion and Klein. That's a goddamn law firm, bro.
Oh, 100%. I don't know if it's one I would go to, but it is a law
No,
firm.
no, we just deal with mechanical injuries.
That's right.
The
They've
machine
got
is
billboards for sure.
the machine doesn't like you and like the machine.
That's right.
Then our national championship game is a rematch of the 2020 national championship game in the same venue with number three Ohio State versus number four Alabama. I could be swayed either way. I would probably lean Ohio State to repeat.
I would as well. My thought, like thinking about this potential matchup, was kind of what we said coming off of last week's Alabama game, where man, it feels like Ty Simpson has to be perfect. And when you're going up against Matt Patricia leading a defense, like he's going to be very good at making like putting you in positions where you're just not going to be perfect. And like Ohio State has so many ways they can beat you if you're not perfect. And like that's a really tough place to be.
I don't know if Ohio State can run the football or if it has to. I don't think Alabama can, and I
No.
think that'll cost them.
No, and like I think I trust the offense as a whole on Ohio State more than I do Alabama, and that's beyond the running game. Like Ty Simpson is a more talented quarterback, or at least based on what we've seen, than Julian Sayin. But I also trust that Julian Sayin's going to go the right place with the ball every single time.
Was thinking about this. Maybe this is an impact of a Ryan Grubb, Kalen DeBoer offense, where it's very washed and very 11 personnel people to death and everything like that. Not to say this is going to be the downfall for DeBoer in Tuscaloosa, but he's got to figure out how to run the football a little more effectively. And this is not like throwing shade at Jay Miller. I think Jay Miller is good. I think he's just been hurt all year.
Yeah, and like I think like we saw the offensive line as a whole kind of really struggle earlier in the year. They've really improved in their pass blocking. I don't think they've improved quite as much in their run blocking.
Yeah, and again, you gotta be able to run the ball in the end here. I guess just a couple more questions before we move on. This is something I've been writing about for Dawn of the Dog. I'm like, the only thing that matters for Georgia is to get on the other side of the bracket of Alabama.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that's the boogeyman. Like there's no other way to say it.
And I'm gonna say this. This is why you have to root for Alabama to win out.
Mhm.
Because look, if you win the SEC, you're gonna be a top two seed. Um, and if you win the Big Ten and you're undefeated, Indiana or Ohio State's gonna be the one.
Yeah.
So And then Georgia's probably going to be 4, 5, or 6, depending on what the outcome is. Probably 5, potentially 4, probably not 6. So you just got to get to like, you got to be on the other side of the bracket of Alabama.
Yeah, and like I mean, literally the simplest path is everyone went out and Alabama beats Texas A&M in the SEC championship game because that probably puts Alabama at the 2 or 3, either of which is fine if Georgia is the 5, and that puts Texas A&M at the 4. And to your point about the lack of experience, I think Kirby Smart and Georgia have been in this position before, and obviously Texas A&M has not.
100%. And the last thing I said is any team that's out of the mix, like whether that be Texas, Texas Tech, Notre Dame, or Tennessee, do you think any of them could make it interesting if they got into the field here?
I think I still think Texas Tech could. I think that the talent level of Texas Tech and like very much a Charlie Kelly wild card type of situation, just like coming in tortillas blazing and just like ready to just wreak havoc and like give you a different look than basically any of these teams are going to give you. Like there's not many teams that are going to run the tempo that Texas A&M does with the elite defense that they have. And like I think that you could at least put a scare into someone or at least punch them in the mouth early and see how they respond.
I would be leaning, I can see that, but I would lean Notre Dame here just
Hmm.
because Jeremiah Love, you've been there before with Marcus Freeman. I don't trust CJ Carr.
Yeah.
I don't see it. I don't see it right now. Maybe it'll be, this is only his first year starting, so maybe we'll see it next year. But right now, I'm kind of apprehensive with siding with him. But
He's only a redshirt freshman, right? Or is he a redshirt sophomore?
one of the two, the point is he's probably got 2 more years of eligibility beyond this.
Yeah, 100%. Like I don't he definitely doesn't look like a hopeless case by any stretch of the imagination, but he's definitely not there yet.
He's definitely not there yet. And if he gets into the playoff, he's going to be screaming to Marcus Freeman on the sidelines, "It's a trap!"
Big old trap.
Big old trap. Our favorite Rebel space slug guy, Admiral Akbar. We're gonna pick some 3 games that have trap game tendencies. These are always fun because we've done a good job of like not using these in JLN, but it's gonna be great. What's the third game this week? You're like, okay, there's some money to be had there potentially.
Texas Tech going on the road to face Kansas State. Texas Tech, obviously, as I mentioned many times, has the big matchup with BYU next week, so makes it a certified trap game because this is the type of game. But Kansas State's also been playing a hell of a lot better football as of late. We saw them kind of put the work on Kansas and Sunflower. We'll talk
Yeah,
about that here in a little bit. And man, I just think this Kansas State team is as they improve, as they get their feet under them, they're just dangerous and lurking to cause havoc in a conference that has breeded havoc for years. And Texas Tech, they just lost Will Hammond for the season. Baron Morton is supposed to come back for this game. They're posturing like this was always the plan. I'm not sure I'm convinced about that when
nah,
it comes from Joey McGuire.
hell no.
This feels like a very sketchy game for Texas Tech. I'm still going to take the Red Raiders just because I still don't trust Avery Johnson in Kansas State, but my antenna are up a little bit.
I don't have this game anywhere, but that's a very good one. I will lean Texas Tech, but yeah, keep your eyes out there for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, 100%.
This also has a trap game to it, and it doesn't have your seal of approval just yet, but Miami laying 10.5 at SMU feels very trappy.
Okay. Okay. I did not have this game, so
I'm just still gonna take Miami to win, but like this is a game where Miami ruins its playoff chances by losing in Dallas. I think that's very much in play here.
I'm also leaning Miami. And honestly, the reason I looked at this game as a potential trap game. I think SMU just might not be that good. Kevin Jennings
That's
is a
true.
little banged up right now. And also, this is a name we haven't really discussed. What about Rhett Lashley at Florida?
That could work. I mean, he's also got Arkansas ties too.
Yeah, and like I do
Also,
wonder if there's a little bit of is Rhett Lashley kind of already thinking about what's next?
he'd also be a hell of a good fit at Auburn too.
Oh God, yeah. I think he might be the best fit at Auburn.
I think if Auburn opens up, they go get him.
Yeah, they should.
They
Whether or not
should.
they
And then
will, who knows?
I've always known this guy was good. I've always known that he was a good coach. And
100%.
all right. All right. What's your number two?
Number two, I've got Virginia going on the road to Cal. Long road trip. We
Yeah.
know that road trip, and woke Cal has some tricks up its sleeve. It always does, and it's going to be a weird game. You're traveling across the country for a 3:45 Eastern start. Like, it's just kind of a weird game. I don't know, but I would venture to guess this is something on CW or CW adjacent with that start time. Things get weird. Virginia is a good football team. They have turned things around, but they're also far from perfect. They almost lost to North Carolina last week. I think Cal pulls off the upset. I think this is where the Virginia train stops.
This is my number one.
Hmm.
And I also have Cal winning. Virginia's been getting a lot of flowers this week, as illustrated by our second topic of the day. Virginia's been winning a lot of really close games by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah.
North Carolina, FSU. There's another overtime game that I'm
Louisville.
blanking. Louisville as well.
Yeah.
Again, this is untrodden territory, and I think Cal is one game away from achieving bowl eligibility. If you get this, that throws a wrinkle in everything in the ACC. Probably, I'm not gonna. It might actually knock Virginia out of and knock Virginia out of playoff contention, but not out of the ACC because the NC State loss was a non-conference game.
Hmm.
But yeah, give me the Golden Bears.
100%. So what's your two?
Georgia Tech laying 6.5 at North Carolina State.
Okay.
I don't know if North Carolina State's good. I think Georgia Tech's been more lucky than good. I'm still gonna take the Jackets here, but like this is a game where I think if Georgia Tech's gonna slip up before they meet the Dogs in Atlanta, this might happen.
Yeah, I this would have been four for me if we were doing this because I looked really hard at this one, and I don't think NC State is very good. NC
No.
State's defense is actually quite atrocious. Having said that, level of competition hasn't really mattered for some of the games that Georgia Tech has played this season. They've gotten into dogfights with a Wake Forest. They've gotten into dog like this Georgia Tech team is extremely fun, extremely talented, extremely well coached, but they have the potential to slip up at any moment. I'm still leaning the bees as well, but this is a hairy spot in a game where you wouldn't be surprised if you look at it and Georgia Tech's like up by three with NC State that has the ball driving in the final 2 minutes.
How's the how's this is the wife divided bowl. I'm sure she cares a lot.
She cares immensely. Yes, the NC State podcast also moonlighted as a Georgia Tech podcast. I she probably doesn't know this game is happening if we're being completely honest.
That's absolutely fair. And what is your number one?
My number one is USC going on the road to Lincoln to play Nebraska, man. And USC still, I'm not going to say that they're alive for the playoff, but like they have an outside shot. It's not out of the realm of possibility, but they can also still finish the season strong and really like cool off Lincoln Riley's hot seat and make things like look better for the future. If you win out, go 9-3, like there's still a lot of room for improvement. However, USC has been a much different team on the road than they have been playing in Southern California. And Nebraska is not a team that you can look over. USC is a slight favorite in this game. Give me the underdog. I think Nebraska wins this game.
I don't think I had this one anywhere. This was kind of a stay away for me. And I because I think USC and Nebraska are evenly matched. These are 8-4, 9-3 teams that
Mhm.
are gonna keep their coaches at this point. For as I imagine Matt Rule and Lincoln Riley hanging out. I bet you like being in a car with them is just the worst thing alive.
It's the sound of silence because those two have nothing to talk about.
There's no, there's they're talking the whole time, just to not hear the other person speak.
I just
It's
wanted to hear my own voice because,
it,
God damn.
it's Thanksgiving New Orleans for the Mannings at
That's
Grandpa Wright's
right.
house. Just talking. Um, I understand your point about USC like going on the road, but I also think Nebraska might be mailing it in a little bit or pull back because they got back-to-back bowl games and everything like that.
Entirely possible.
I would probably lean Nebraska just because the Matt Rule pop here, and this it'd be funnier if Lincoln lost this game. Lincoln lost and Lincoln. Lincoln
Yeah,
lost.
100%.
Uh, so yeah, I'll probably lean Nebraska here, but that's neither here nor there.
No, and I went with this one as number one for exactly what you said. Like it feels like such a coin flip, but like USC has the number next to its name and Nebraska does not.
I think the Virginia Cal game, that's the one to watch.
Oh, 100%. That's about to get weird.
Academics and a little bit of football. We love it.
I'll give you some Friday night advice. Don't watch North Carolina Syracuse. Holy hell, that's going to be an awful football game.
No, like the only person who's gonna watch that's like West Durham.
Yeah, and that's contractual obligations.
He's got to be there, man. And we had to be there, and more importantly, you had to be there with our Antonio Banderas Bowl of the Week. We're gonna recap what happened there in Lawrence, and then we're doing something that we shouldn't be doing, taking Antonio to Jacksonville for the cocktail party.
Worst idea we've ever had. Worst
All
idea
right.
we've ever had.
So you mentioned we picked Kansas to win this game. Did not work out that way. Kansas State really kind of gave it to them. And this was all Antonio's doing. Again, he knows how to say Wingardium Leviosa now, so he's become a much better magician like Neville Longbottom.
Yeah. So here's the thing. This beard here, this came from Antonio because
Jeez.
he wanted to really get his wizarding, prowess going. And so with his wand, he got the beard. And he's walking around and dude, I'm a little worried that Antonio might be a wizard of some sort because
Yeah,
he was throwing that wand around. He was doing it a lot on the Kansas sideline, particularly at Jalen Daniels, and we saw it played out. He did, he said he didn't want to cast a spell on a child, so he didn't target Avery Johnson at all, and he hit Jalen Daniels, who's the opposite of a child.
yeah, he just views Jalen Daniels as a threat.
That's right.
So Antonio again wanted us to all go down to Potter Lake. He and I are in our Sylvan robes, your new Ravenclaw robes. His are tattered. He thought he could wash it off. He did go in there. It looked a little bit better, but it was mostly covered in slime
Oh yeah,
and with the gillyweed. So again, that's his big thing. He's really into herbology, like Neville Longbottom. But
yeah.
he also wanted he found out why Kansas State's been struggling because he doesn't call Avery Johnson Tinny Bopper. He calls him Herman Granger. And he's been asleep, so he went to the bottom of the lake and got a mandrake, which I think he just went to a daycare and stole someone's child.
Yeah, I mean that was definitely a baby looking mandrake. There's no doubt about it. Best wishes to that family. Congrats on the newborn. Yeah, he woke up Herman, and Herman was out there showing some prowess. I also think that Herman didn't necessarily appreciate being called Herman Granger, and so I think it might have been just to stick it to Antonio because Antonio's not a Kansas fan, but he does love Potter Lake, so that's close enough for Avery Johnson, I guess.
And I think the problem is the teeny bopper has no reference to the Munsters, so it was like Herman Granger, Herman Munster, and he's like, "This is offending me. I don't." Frankenstein didn't ask to be here, neither did we.
This is about man's folly, and that man is Antonio.
Um, Lance Leipold just avoided us at all costs, and I will give him that.
Yeah, I mean it's deserved. I mean, at least Lance Leipold didn't catch a stray spell here or there because that was always in play with Antonio there.
The other thing that I think was very important is how we ended up meeting Chris Kleiman after the game.
Hmm.
He disguised himself as a couch to try to have us avoid him, but he pulled out a little vial, because he is Professor Slughorn, and it says,
Yes.
"Where are you guys going to next?" And he's like, Antonio's like, "Jacksonville, baby." He's like, "Drink this up, brother." And then Antonio immediately shedded all of his robes. Now he's in a wife lover and jean shorts, and he's ready to go.
100%. He hasn't quite got the pincers yet, but no, he's definitely feeling the liquid luck, and God knows we're gonna need it in Jacksonville, brother.
Yeah, dude, we're gonna be there for the cocktail party. Again, he thinks Billy Napier's dead, and he might be, and that's okay. The other part is he because he's been doing Harry Potter. He wants someone to talk to ghosts and hang out with Kirby, and Kirby knows all about that.
100%. Yeah. Ghost hunters extraordinaire. I'm a little worried because Antonio's vocabulary has grown, and we were driving by some of the more swampy areas of Florida, and there were a couple gators on the side of the road, and he knows gator as being in Stillwater. He doesn't know what
Yes,
these gators
he
are.
does.
And so I was expecting a bulldog. I was expecting bulldog to come out of his mouth. And then he looks at him and he goes, swamp puppy. And I was like, oh no, that's the
No,
last thing you want to hear from Antonio.
no, no. He's drinking Jack Daniels out of the fifth, riding a swamp puppy, and I'm like, dude, nobody's even gotten here yet.
The cocktail party, like he thinks the cocktail party is just what Jacksonville is. He doesn't realize it's just this Saturday.
He thinks it's like Disney World, basically.
Yeah, 100%. The happiest place on earth, or the white trashiest place on earth, whichever.
Oh my gosh. We did have to go to the Sam Rivers Memorial. I think that's also something he wants to build. So again, he took the goalpost out of Potter Lake and reconstructed it into a cross for Sam Rivers. And Sam Rivers like, I don't even know what the hell this is, but this is Jacksonville. Might as well make sense.
What move is it? Is it Varsity Blues where like the little brother like walks into breakfast like nailing himself to the cross? Is that right?
That wouldn't shock me at all. That might be it.
Well,
Varsity
That's how
Blues.
Antonio is walking into. I don't even know what the stadium is nowadays. It's changed sponsors like 60 times.
I think it's Everbank again. I think it's Everbank Stadium now.
Okay, didn't it used to be Everbank Field? Then there was something
Yeah, it
in
was
between.
TIAA. Yeah.
God Almighty. Okay, so it's back to Everbank.
It's like a regional small bank. It's like Synovus. It's been, whatever.
Yeah.
They've been Alltel. It's been a whole bunch of other things. Maybe they should call it the Antonio Banderas Field of Greatness.
Do what you want. It means you're going to be seeing a lot of Antonio, which is probably why they won't do it.
No. Oh my God. Had something else about Jacksonville that was very important. Oh yeah, so you talked about, nailing himself to a cross in Varsity Blues. Antonio believes that we are living in that movie right now
Yes.
because we just saw that happen there in LSU.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. The patron saint of self-sacrifice, Brian Kelly.
But Antonio is going to be his BAC is just going to be 100% alcohol at this point. He's going to be more Everclear than Everclear, which I think we'll do for Jalen next week.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And obviously, tell me everything is wonderful now. It's gonna be it's gonna be a good time here. I have this in Jalen, so I'm not gonna make a pick just yet.
I also have it in JLM, but I have it early, so we'll get there quickly.
And with that note, let's move on to a little extra helping of just like Novocaine here with two 3 packs and an encore for each. Since the cocktail party is featuring Georgia and Florida, we've got popular bands from both Athens and Gainesville. But we decided not to use the fastball for this. We're going to save REM for later, and we're going to save Tom Petty for later. So
Yeah.
we got the B-52s representing Athens and Less Than Jake representing Gainesville.
Hell yeah, we do.
Dude, I was like listening to like all these songs. I'm like, these songs are so great.
Dude, it's a hell of a slate that we got here. There's no doubt about it.
All right, let's go to the first half of the first four. We're gonna do eight as opposed to six because just like Novocaine's about six, but we're doing eight now.
Yeah, 100%. They snuck in another couple plays into Herman Boone's playbook.
All right, let's get going. That I don't think the double reverse is in the playbooks. That's one, and then
That's right.
all right,
The forward pass is the second one.
yeah, man, Sunshine Ronnie Bass legend.
That's right.
All right, who's living in their own private Idaho?
That's Vanderbilt in Texas, brother, because Texas is sure as hell living in their own private Idaho right now, living in their own little world. You got to get out of it. And I think Vandy wakes them out of it, brother. I think it's going to be a low scoring game. I think it's going to be a tight game. We don't know yet if Arch Manning's going to play for it, but I think Vandy gets it and ends this Texas farce.
I had that game a little bit later, but I'm feeling the other.
Yeah.
For your own private Idaho, I couldn't help myself. Fresno State at Boise. I think Spencer Danielson's living in his own private Idaho. He's 6-2. You might win the Mountain West. Your two losses aren't bad. Hell, you might get back into the playoff here. Uh, I also like the fact that Kate Pearson and Cindy Wilson like are basically like the two different personalities of Rosemary. There's the with the crazy hair, and then there's
Yeah.
also the dancing. So that's my fiance.
Hell yes.
uh, private. I love Private. That's my favorite song by them. I love that song.
It's a damn good one, brother.
And the next one, we got the B-52's arguably most favorite song, or the one that they really broke through with, Rock Lobster.
Yeah, I've got Penn State, Ohio State for this one. Lots of trouble, lots of bubble. He's in a jam. He's in a giant clam. And we thought this game was going to be good. We thought that we were going to, see Penn State potentially, finally get past the Ohio State thing. Not the case. Ohio State wins by a hell of a lot. This is going to be bad.
I don't have that game anywhere, but Ohio State's going to make Penn State just remove all the vowels, so it's just Penn State.
Vincent.
It's like Paul Posluszny's head and his neck coming together. Um, Rock Lobster, I didn't put a lot of thought into this. This is the cocktail party for me.
Mm.
I don't know if you know this, but when I went to Athens over the summer, we went to Terrapin and they had a pint glass that had the Athens Rock Lobsters. I'm like, oh, this is cool. As it turns out, that's a minor league hockey team that they play at
Hell
the
yeah.
Classic Center. And that's really the Athens Rock Lobsters is all I could think about. Give me the dogs here. I think it's only like 7.5. They'll probably win by like 10 or 14 points, maybe.
I can see that. I have this game coming up very shortly. Very shortly.
All right. Love Shack Baby.
That's the cocktail party. Yeah, come on, man. What are we talking about? It's
Uh,
the love shack. You know these two fan bases love each other. Yeah, no, it's I'm excited for this game. I'm taking Georgia. I just don't think I think Florida's in too much turmoil against a team that knows exactly where they're heading. And I know things get sideways in this rivalry quite often, but I don't think this is the year for that to happen.
no, Antonio keeps saying Love Shack Baby the whole
Yeah,
time.
100%.
Well, he's like a swamp puppy.
That's right.
All right. The first of two story times with Bueller. Love Shack.
Mm,
Rehearse this is so I can try to be concise. Um, oh yeah, I'll get my game out of the way real quick. This is Cincinnati at Utah. First time they've ever played. Game day is there. The Big 12 is getting some love from ESPN. Give me the Utes.
okay, I have this game in the less than Jake portion of the proceedings.
Wonderful. All right. So first time I heard Love Shack or to remember it was I went to like a Johnny Rockets at the Avenue, and I'm telling you, this is the most Johnny Rockets song of all time.
Oh God, yeah.
So I must have maybe heard like at a sock hop at the elementary school when I was younger, but like definitively remember it when I was like 11 or 12. A few years later, I went to my cousin's wedding in Columbus, Ohio. Just a very, my mom was from there. So we would go up there. I must have been like just turned 16, 15 or 16 in high school. Very just nondescript wedding, just very traditional church, 7,500 people, a reception hall. Though the long, because I mean, because obviously I'm planning a wedding right now. We're watching like that you're going to be a part of. We're watching Four Weddings. That show's great. If you ever have to watch that show, I don't know if that's in the,
That's not in the rotation, but I had to throw it in there because
yeah,
we is it trashy TV because that's what we're
yes,
about. Okay, hell
yeah,
yeah, we're in.
yeah. It's a lot of people in New Jersey trying to get married. It's great.
Oh God, yeah, I'm in. Sold.
But like the standout memory from this wedding, like 20 years ago, was the best man.
Hell yes.
He gave off the vibes of if Ross Geller and Hal Sparks were the same person.
Oh Jesus. Okay.
And my cousin got married like relatively young, like this is like early to mid 20s and stuff like that. So these are like high school friends. And the best man was talking about how nice the groom is, how because he's the guy who had the car and gave him rides home, and his mom would make pizza rolls. And I'm like, this is just a sad existence. But he goes on the dance floor and he's got a couple screwdrivers in. He keeps dancing to like Love Shack like this, where he's like, I can't do it with the chair. Like has like this own special dance. And I'm like, this guy's either somebody's dad or is and now or has never had sex with a woman before in his life. And he kept dropping screwdrivers, kept requesting it over and over again. And I was just like, this is if Ross Geller had a favorite song, this was it. And I'm just like, I can't
Oh,
I-
100%.
like the fact that I remember this 20 years later, and I think about it at least once a day is unbelievable.
This says a lot about the situation. There's no doubt about it. There's always one person that you remember from a wedding for better or worse.
Yeah, it wasn't my other cousin's wedding, Beerhead. Uh, God, fraternity brother weddings are the best.
Hell
Anyway,
yes.
let's move on to the last song here from the B-52's portion with Rome.
I have Navy North Texas for this
Let's
game.
go.
Kind of roaming around. I'm excited for this game. This might be the game I'm most excited for this week. Like it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. I'm going to go North Texas. I think they give up plenty to Navy, but I think that the explosiveness of the Mean Green's passing offense is just going to be a little too much for Navy to keep up with.
I don't have that anywhere, but give me a UNT over the troops because we just got to keep disrespecting the troops, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, true.
Mine is going to decide the Pac-12, Washington State at Oregon
Let's
State,
go.
because I have a feeling that the Cougars and the Beavers are going to take it hip to hip, rock it through the wilderness.
Damn right.
Cougs all day, man.
Yeah, I'm going. I don't have this game anywhere else. Give me Wazoo for sure.
All right, and then the less than Jake portion. The one of the other big bands from Gainesville.
Oh, hell yes.
We all play Tony Hawk 4. All my best friends are metalheads. What an absolute banger this
Dude,
one is.
made me just want to play Tony Hawk when I was re-listening to it. Like truly, that's all
Yes.
I wanted to do.
All right.
That's how most of my days go. I just would wake up and I'm like, it'd be really great if I just played Tony Hawk Pro Skater all day.
Hell yeah. All right, what
Uh,
do you got? What do you got for this?
I have Oklahoma, Tennessee for this.
Me too.
Hell yeah. And all this really means is you're one in a crowd and you're paranoid of every sound. That's Oklahoma and Brent Venables right now. They don't want this. They don't want to come to Neyland face a team coached by a guy who absolutely hates their guts despite playing for them for 3 or 4 years. Like, this is going to be bad for Oklahoma. They're taking too many body blows, and I think Tennessee delivers a pretty big haymaker here.
Do you think it's strange that there's a way of how you look and how you act and how you think, pretending I'm the same as you? You know, in the end, how little we know about each other. That's Josh Heupel, Oklahoma. You don't know me.
You don't know me at all, brother.
I've got the Vols winning.
Yeah, I think the Vols win pretty comfortably, actually.
Yeah. All right. She's gonna break soon.
Arizona State, Iowa State for
Oh,
me. One of them's gonna break soon, man. It's going off the rails a little bit for one of these, and I think it's gonna be Iowa State, unfortunately. I think Arizona State just has a little bit too much juice for them in this game.
I'm in an Arizona State family now. Give me what forks up. Yeah, there
Works
we
up,
go.
baby. Let's go.
This is where I've got Vanderbilt, Texas.
Hell yeah.
She's gonna break soon. It's either gonna be Diego Pavia's Heisman bid's gonna end, or Texas is gonna lose. And I think it's gonna be the latter. I think Texas takes the L at home. And the Diana Rossini things about Sark being interested in the NFL, that's just
Hilarious. Hilarious stuff.
yeah. It's okay. She's gonna break soon.
Have you heard anything about Arch? Like it does like no one knows if Arch is playing in this game, correct?
He got pulled over, I saw.
I didn't see that. Hell yeah.
Um, I don't know. Arch, he may go to Virginia and replace Chandler Morris.
Honestly, at this point, yeah, I can't rule it out. But like truly, like Arch in 2 of the past 3 weeks has actually played pretty damn decently. Like in the comeback against Mississippi State, he played extremely well during that before he,
Mhm.
he got concussed. If they have to go to, is it Caldwell's the backup, if I'm not
I
mistaken?
believe so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if they have to go to Caldwell, man, I don't know how Texas is going to move the ball because they're going to have to rely on the running game, and they have a worse rushing offense than Alabama. Like they can't run the ball at all.
Yeah, Arch played really well versus Oklahoma. Did not play well versus Kentucky.
Yeah.
Played well in the comeback versus Mississippi State before, getting concussed. And then Vanderbilt won, but Vanderbilt won ugly, and I think Vanderbilt will be a little bit more charged up offensively this week.
I agree, 100%.
All right. Look what happened.
And and I swear it's my last try because Mike Locksley's going to try to beat a good team in the Big Ten. I've got Indiana, Maryland in this one, and he's going to try again and he's going to fail again because the same Maryland story is happening again, Bueller. We got duped again. I'm not sure if Mike Locksley makes it through the season because Maryland's cratering once again as they get into Big Ten play. And Indiana's not the team that you want to face when that is what is happening.
That's what they do in College Park. They walk the cracks, the same old sidewalks. They talk about leaving town. They talk about leaving, but I swear it's the last time. And it's the last try that Mike Locksley will have here. Maryland's got to go to a bowl game. They're not going to get this. Indiana is going to beat them like a drum.
Oh, yeah. This might be 40, 50 points.
uh, Potentially a hashtag turtle up. And
Yeah.
look what happened for me. I've got South Carolina at Ole Miss, and I
Mhm.
swear it's the last time, and I swear it's the last try. We'll talk about leaving town. We talk about leaving, whether that's Shane Beamer going to Virginia Tech, like Kiffin going to LSU or Florida.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
And they're just going to be, circling the same old sidewalks here and everything like that. And with 20,000 lines left to go, going somewhere, I don't know. I don't think either of them would be going westward bound. They'd be going more east, I think, and
Yeah.
that's why they're not going to leave. So give me Ole Miss to win by a lot.
Don't have this game, but yeah, give me Ole Miss by quite a considerable margin. Pete Golding might stuff Mike Shula in a blender, like
And I
truly.
think I think that's fair. The last one we got here, the science of selling yourself short, absolute banger.
Tell me what conference I'm describing here, Bueller. I'm the king of catastrophes. I'm so far gone. The deep down inside, I think it's fine by me. I'm my own worst enemy. What conference might I be talking about there?
That might be the ACC.
But it's also the Big
Big
12,
twelve.
where
Yeah.
it's chaos at all times. That's where I've got Cincinnati, Utah to finish us off here. It would be great for the Big 12 if Cincinnati would win this game. And that's exactly why Utah's going to win this game. In Rice Eccles, Cincinnati hasn't played in an environment like this since they had to play a neutral site at Arrowhead against Nebraska, which is their one loss on the season. I think they take their second here.
Yeah. Yeah. Cincinnati might take the second one. I think that's good. Uh, you've come to their senses that I'm not senseless or whatever it is. Skyline should live.
That's right.
And that's what Utah and Kyle Whittingham did. They'll just beat you senseless with a rock.
Truly. Absolutely. There's a lot of
There's
rocks in Utah. Hell of a
there's an
lot of
on,
rocks.
there's a non-zero chance someone they trespassed his property, smashed his head with a boulder and buried him in the backyard.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
All right. This is the other good one that I've got a story bit about, but I'll pick my game here real quick. I've got Kentucky at Auburn.
Oh, hell yeah. That's ugly as shit.
Yeah, it's not good at all. Uh, the science of selling yourself short, that's Kentucky, with Bush Hampton as the OC, and then that's become Auburn here with Hugh Freeze and Jackson Arnold, and it's so far gone, with every emergency and every catastrophe here. I do think Auburn wins this game.
Yeah, I think Auburn gets it. Like, Kentucky's a special kind of bad.
Yeah, I think they're the worst team in the SEC. This is the other song. So I was I was hanging out with my friend and we were playing this song on I keep on going to say this on here. I don't care. This is funny. We were playing this song like on YouTube after my friend's wife came home from work. And she was like, "This song is so stupid." And I'm like, "This song is great." And that's how I knew that it wasn't going to work out for them, and it didn't. And also, the liquor store version of Roger, liquor store Carm. That's where liquor store Carm comes from. Because Carm, because he's sitting there at the beginning of the video and then he comes awake. That's Mark Carmen before every video he ever films.
I mean, that tracks 100%. Shouts to Carm, man.
That's the Carm getting it. The Bears aren't horrible. They're interesting. So I think they all hit Ryan Poles up there in Chicagoland. And I told you that was going to be the case.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very I mean, the coaching situation here, but like the Bears and the Dolphins, I feel like are just like saddled with these GMs who clearly don't know what they're doing, but also for some reason have just like Teflon job security. It's unbelievable.
It's all about being named Ryan or Matt or something. I don't know. Ben.
It's about something. I don't know.
Who gives a shit? You already sworn to get two in there, shouldn't they?
That's
This
right.
was episode 222 of False Start. You can follow me, Richie Tenenbaum, or John Bueller on the X at Bueller118. Don't ask me to spell Tenenbaum. I never get it right.
God no.
You can follow Papa Smurf, the Roman Gnome, Cody Williams at the Sizzle 20, or just follow his travel guide online. It tells you where he's going.
That's right. I'll get you the best deals on the internet for sure.
Watch, like, comment, subscribe, review on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere there's podcasts. Give us a 5-star review. I didn't know what you were going to pull out of there. I had a feeling it might be that. I'm not going to take my headband off because that's going to be a disaster. Oh man,
Five
Halloween's
stars,
great.
baby.
5 stars. He wore a beard today. We're one subscriber away from 50, and if we get to 55, I might just do something. I don't know what it's going to be yet.
I'll just wear the beard just randomly.
I just wear the beard. I'm gonna start wearing the headband. This has just become part of my new wardrobe. Like we go down to Phoenix and Josh Yarish is wearing the hat like he's the cousin of like the Falwell brothers. Like I just wear this now.
Dude, he was made to wear a cowboy hat, and I don't think he realized it till that weekend.
I don't think so. I don't think so either. I've got wristbands, man.
Hell yes.
Oh, dude. All right, Halloween stories. Just anything out there you can think of before we get out of here. We talked about some stuff. Just anything. What do you got plans for Halloween? We got our Halloween story or anything like that.
So get to on Friday night, we have a Halloween party with a bunch of scientists, as everything I do in my life is with a bunch of scientists. But gonna go have go with my wife, who the NC State podcast is a mushroom, hence why I'm a gnome. She's got It's enormous. It's like a hat. I'm not joking, like this big that is a mushroom and it like props up and stuff like that. It's a good costume, but gonna go do that. Honestly, a lot of my Halloween stories are not podcast appropriate, but I will like amend one from college, which I will never forget because I was traumatized. Um, Went to a party on Halloween, and I was Tom Cruise for Risky Business, as douches in college are. You know,
Yeah.
had the button up shirt with the pink boxers and white socks. And what I didn't really calculate into this was, what if I have to do anything like, and I don't have any shoes? And when I didn't calculate that, I was trying to, talk to a female as a young single man in college does. And my friends were going to another party. I said, that's good. I'll find a ride. I did not find a ride, Bueller. And I had to walk 3 miles back to my apartment in boxers and socks in October. It sucked. It was one of the worst experiences of my life. And then I showed up at the door, and all my friends are back at our apartment, like chilling and hanging out. And they're like, "Where the hell have you been?" And I was like, "I've been on the road walking for like 3 hours."
I've come to my senses. So the Arizona State podcast and I are going to be going to a house party tomorrow. She doesn't have work, so we thought she was going to be closing, and that's not the case.
Hell yeah,
So
that's
we're going to go
big.
as we're going as Margot and Richie Tannenbaum, the adopted brother and sister that kind of like to hang out under a fort or something like that.
Yeah.
And also the sneaky thing here, they're not going to listen to the show. We're going to ask one of the bridesmaids
Hell
husband
yeah.
if they want to be if he wants to be the officiant. I know you can do it. You're the backup plan, but
That's
like
right.
we're gonna hand him like a moleskin notebook and it's gonna say Holy Bible on it, and then give him some scotch, and he's gonna be freaking out.
Love that. Hell yes.
We've already run it by his wife, and they think it's like the funniest thing ever.
That's awesome.
As far as like other moments from Halloween, I mean, I've talked about getting pneumonia after being a surfer. I think there's another. I think I've also done the Mr. McGiblets at Georgia, just drinking through that,
Yeah.
that beating and that costume. There's another one that I have that's really bad. I think one year, I think I must have been like second grade because I 4 years in a row I did a Grim Reaper because I'm just like I'm just not going to think about this.
Yeah.
I think I was a werewolf and I had one of those like the rubber masks you wear,
Right.
and I couldn't see at all. And I see if I got this right. This may or may not be true, but maybe it's a false memory. But like, I couldn't see out of this thing, and I think I like, fell off of someone's porch, or like in someone's driveway, spilled my candy,
Oh no, dude.
but it was like the third house, so I didn't have a lot in the pillow sack.
Oh my God.
So I ended up taking the mask off, and I was just going door to door like a farmer.
Oh my God. That's too funny, dude.
They're like, "What are you?" I'm like, "I'm a werewolf that hasn't been bitten yet." I think is what I said.
It's so good. We had like a pumpkin carving party last week, and everyone dressed up for it. So this is the second time I've worn this costume. I'll wear it a third time tomorrow. But there was a family that was showing up to the carving party, and the dad, the wife, and one of their kids, they were all Where's Waldo. They were all matching. And then the fourth kid comes walking in, and it was the Grim Reaper. You reminded me of that, but it was hilarious. You had three Where's Waldos and the Grim Reaper walking with them.
The other thing that I thought was hilarious, I remember in like high school, everybody used to dress up and stuff. Uh, there's two I got. One, this guy in my grade named Greg, his dad says, I will get you a giant chicken costume as long as you promise to wear it like every Halloween and every time there's an opportunity to have like a crazy party setting, like a
Yeah.
$1,000 chicken costume. Greg just decided to mail it in like senior year, and he just wore the chicken costume in April to school.
Hell yes.
It was so funny. It just basically meant like how much BS high school is. The other one, the skater kids made themselves a Scrabble board, and they were just different letters walking around. There's like different letters there. There's like a T, there's an S, there's an X, there's a U, there's an E. There's like seven letters, and none of the teachers knew what it spelled, and it spelled that.
Love that. Love that.
They took a picture beforehand of the hallway and just screamed this. I'm like, that is so funny.
That's too good.
And then I asked like one of the guys, like, why did you guys decide on this word? It's like they can't get we can't get in trouble because these two words are, educational words.
Yeah,
And it's
100%.
not a swear word, but combined, it's hilarious. Oh my
The
God.
ingenuity of high school kids has never failed.
Never, not even once, not even one time. So be safe out there. You know, if you talk about leaving town, walk around the same old sidewalks in circles and everything like that. Do what you got to do. Just take care of yourself. And I swear this last time, and I swear it's the last try. Once again, thanks for listening, because this is False Start.